This is a heck of a time to be caught short. Hate to say I told you so, but you should have thought of it sooner. No, even sooner. Keep going. Right there. Because when you started working for the government, you were handed a golden opportunity to build a retirement nest egg of hundreds of thousands of dollars. No kidding. It's amazing what you can do with your money when you put it in the Thrift Savings Plan, or TSP for short. Start saving for retirement here, you say? You bet, because it takes a lot of time to build a nest egg like this. I'll show you what I mean. Let's say your pay average is $26,000 a year throughout your career, and you save 5% of it every paycheck. That works out to $50 each biweekly pay period. Well, if you start saving when you're 40, you'd put in about $32,000 by the time you're 65. And the earnings on your contributions, assuming a 7% rate of return, would be $56,000. The earnings can really pile up if you start saving when you're younger. Start at age 25, for example, and you'd put in $52,000, which, still assuming a 7% rate of return, would earn almost $250,000. See? When you start saving early, your money does most of the work. And if you're eligible for matching contributions, you can wind up with even more money. I'll explain how that works in a minute. Now, $570,000 sure sounds like a lot of money, but would it be enough of a nest egg? Keeping in mind that you'll have to pay taxes when you withdraw your money, and that it may have to last a long time, possibly throughout a 20 or 30-year retirement. So the big question is, where are you going to get the money to live comfortably in retirement? Well, for CSRS employees, your CSRS annuity may replace a substantial chunk of your final average pay. FERS employees can count on their basic annuity and Social Security, but in most cases they'll add up to even less than the CSRS annuity, which is why making up the difference with the Thrift Savings Plan is especially important to FERS employees. Sure, you could win the lottery or inherit your rich uncle's estate. Marry rich. But short of that, you've got to plan for your own future, more specifically for your retirement, which is exactly what the TSP helps you do. Your plan summary, which you can get from your personnel office, spells out the details of the TSP. You really should read it, cover to cover, to find out exactly how the TSP works. For now, let me give you a bird's eye view. First of all, if you're a FERS employee, you can start contributing immediately after you're hired. Then, as soon as you're eligible, your agency feathers your TSP nest in two important ways. First, there's an automatic contribution equal to 1% of your basic pay each pay period. So, if you make $20,000 a year, $200 a year goes into your account. $30,000, $300 goes in, and so on. You get the automatic contribution year after year for as long as you're a FERS employee. Second, FERS employees can get agency matching contributions as described in the plan summary. That's where you really get to cash in. But you have to put some of your own money in the plan to get the agency match. Now, here's the best reason for doing that. You get a dollar-for-dollar match on the first 3% of pay you save, plus 50 cents on the dollar for the next 2 every pay period. In other words, you double your money by putting just 3% of your pay in the plan. From 3 to 5%, you get 50 cents on the dollar, which isn't too shabby either. To make the most of the match, you'd have to save 5% of your pay each pay period. Now, if you can't afford to save that much now, you can put in less, as little as $1 each pay period. Of course, if you want to save more than 5% of your pay, you can do that too, because the TSP allows you to salt away as much as 12% of your pay each pay period in 2002. The cap goes up 1 percentage point a year, so that by 2005, you can salt away as much as 15% of your pay each pay period, with a dollar limit of $15,000 by 2006. You can even change how much you save from time to time. You know, bump it up when you have more spendable pay, or cut back when pressing financial needs come up. That's one of the best things about the TSP. It lets you save at your own pace. But what really matters is that you put something in, and that you do it now.
Otherwise, you'll be giving up the matching contributions and letting some pretty nice tax savings get away.
Because whatever you put into the TSP comes out of your paycheck before taxes due. That means you pay less tax now. Down, boy! To give you a better sense of how it all adds up, let me go back to the first example. Since the IRS doesn't count your TSP savings for federal tax purposes, your taxable income goes down. So you'd pay less tax now. Then there's the match. The matching contribution on your $1,300 savings is $780 on the first 3%, plus $260 on the next 2%, for a total matching contribution of $1,040. Free. All yours. No strings attached. This $1,040, together with your $1,300, gets added to your agency automatic contribution, giving you a total of $2,600. That's twice what you put in. And the entire $2,600 is tax sheltered for as long as it stays in your TSP account.
Speaking of tax sheltered, if you save money in a traditional IRA or eligible employer plan, you can transfer it into your TSP account. Now, your money doesn't just sit in your account, it gets invested the way you choose. The TSP offers you 5 investment funds to choose from: a U.S. government securities fund, a bond fund, a big company stock fund, a small company stock fund, and an international stock fund.
They differ in important ways, like rates of return and safety of principal, for example. Each fund is described fully in the plan summary, so be sure you read the fine print before making your decisions. There are no hard and fast rules for investing. It's totally up to you to decide where to place your money. You can, if you like, put it all in one fund,
or divvy it up among the 5 funds.
The most important thing is to understand how each fund works and be comfortable with your choices. Now, if you change your mind, you can change your choices. After all, your savings goals and the degree of risk you're willing to take may change over the years, which is why the TSP lets you adjust your strategy to suit them. Now, let's take another look at the mileage you get out of that financial phenomenon, compounding, if you start saving as soon as you're eligible. Using our original assumptions, your TSP account would be worth over $37,000 after just 10 years. Over $110,000 after 20, over $260,000 after 30, and well over $500,000 after 40 years. Here's what you put in. Here's what your agency adds. The magic of compounding does the rest. Pretty impressive numbers. But what's even more impressive is that it all started with your $50 a pay period. You can see how your account is growing by referring to your participant statement,
which you'll get 4 times a year.
But remember, your TSP account is tax deferred, not tax free. You do have to pay tax when you withdraw your money, generally when you retire.
You also have to keep in mind that this money is supposed to be for your retirement, so you need a darn good reason to take it out before then. While you're in federal service, you can withdraw from your account only after you reach age 59 and a half, or if you have a financial hardship. On the other hand, you can borrow from your account for any reason and take up to 5 years to repay. If you're borrowing to buy or build your home, you can take up to 15 years.
Suppose you did leave the government before you retired. Whatever you saved is yours. Ditto for any matching contributions and investment earnings, plus any agency automatic 1% contributions you're vested in, plus their investment earnings. But you stuck around, and here you are again. Only this time, you're ready to face the future with confidence, not to mention a pretty sizable retirement nest egg.
And in very good company, too, I might add. Over 2.5 million federal employees have already joined the Thrift Savings Plan.
They're on their way to a comfortable retirement, which is where you are now. And that, you've got to admit, is a pretty nice place to be. The Thrift Savings Plan. It gets you where you want to go.